Hello there, fellow peasants. So welcome back. This is part two. I just watched Halloween 2018. This is my pre-game little marathon I'm doing before I go to watch Halloween Ends. Last night I watched Halloween 1978, so now I'm watching 2018. Just kind of watching everything that's considered current canon. Obviously, I still like all the other Halloween films in the franchise, all the old school ones, all the classics. But just to simplify it, this year, I've already watched all the other Halloweens this year. But in the lead up this week to Halloween Ends, I'm just sticking with what's considered current canon. So let's talk about 2018. So this came out 4 years ago, exactly. I've always been a fan of the Halloween franchise, but I was kind of like a fair-weathered fan. I wasn't super into it. I just always thought Michael Myers was cool. I thought he was funny because he had the mullet and he walked real slow and sleazy. And I've always thought Michael was kind of funny. I still kind of think he's funny. I don't know why, but I just do. And so, I think other people will probably admit to that. Michael Myers is just a really fucking funny dude. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so 2018 kind of is what actually got me to be a really big Halloween fan. And I think it brought a lot of people into the horror genre. It also brought people that are already horror fans into the Halloween franchise. It was a major movie for its time. It made over $200 million in the box office, which is unheard of for a slasher film. So it had a lot of things going for it. It had the horror community coming to see it. It had the Halloween fans coming to see it. And then it had just general people in general who just wanted to see something scary around October. And so that gave that to them. I remember going to this film the first time. I saw it in theaters, I think opening night. And I remember walking out with my cousin and being like, I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not. Something just seemed like it was missing. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. I think I was mostly let down by 2018 when it first came out because there was such a hype around it being the follow-up to 1978. And so what I was really wanting from this movie was Dean Cundey cinematography. And I didn't get that. This film looks very modern. It's very smooth looking. It looks like a Hallmark movie, but if it's a horror movie. It just has that nice, clean-cut look. And I kind of I didn't want such a modern look. I wanted the 70s Dean Cundey cinematography, where, old school photography, a lot of things were in focus. You know what I mean? They didn't really have a whole lot of depth of field going on as they do now in films. And I just kind of wanted some of that. I just wanted some wider shots. Now, there is a scene in 2018 where it's one continuous shot. I think they did 11 takes. It's where Michael shows up. He goes through the garage, grabs the hammer, bashes that woman's head in, and, takes her butcher knife. And he's going house to house and whatever, and kids are trick-or-treating. That's a really cool scene. That has old school vibes. But yeah, so I didn't really like this movie when it first came out. It's not that the story was bad. It's not that the characters were bad. It was mostly just, it didn't look how I wanted it to look. It was too sharp. It was too good looking. I wanted it to look more old school in terms of its style and cinematography. I didn't get that. But after repeated viewings, I've kind of dropped that. I know that's not going to happen. No one's going to go back and shoot old school style. So this now ranks as my second favorite Halloween in the entire franchise. Um, I know some people are like, what the fuck? But, it really is a really good slasher film. They did an excellent job. James Jude Courtney with the mask. I mean, he knocks it out of the park. I remember when this first came out, there was a lot of talks about it being Nick Castle, but Nick Castle just had a cameo in this. James Jude Courtney knocks it out of the park. I mean, the dude walks like old school Michael. The mask is done to perfection. I mean, it looks like the '78 mask 40 years later. Things I like about the movie, and then I'll go into things I don't like about the movie. Things I like about this movie is, once again, Michael Myers. They nail Michael Myers in this movie. That's the most important part. There's some suspense in this movie. The scene where Oscar is in the backyard and the security lights flashing off and on, and Michael's popping in and out of view. That's great. I like the scenes at the end. I like the end scene where there's good tension when Michael throws Laurie off the balcony, and then Allison comes in, and they're trying to shut the door before he comes down, and then later Michael grabs Karen's leg as she's going up the stairs, and Allison has to stab his hand. You're just like, oh fuck, get out of there. So that's some good suspense, some good tension. I didn't care too much for the humor in this. I don't mind some of the lines that a lot of people seem to get really upset about as much. I didn't mind the humor. I also like the characters in this. I liked Vicky. I like Allison. As much as people hate on Karen, I don't hate her that much. Jamie Lee Curtis did a good job in this, coming back as Laurie Strode. I think she was a little too hardcore. She's too Rambo-like. But, I think if they would have done how Laurie was in H2O, but just make her like slightly more on edge, that would have been perfect. I think they went a little too far with how Laurie is. But overall, I'm happy with how Laurie is, Michael is, the story. The pacing of the film is really good. What I don't like about the movie, once again, I don't like the cinematography. Yes, it looks good. It looks great. It's a sleek looking movie, if you want to judge it based on just in general how it looks. But for me, I wanted these films, all three of them, this, Kills, and Ends. I wanted them all to have old school Dean Cundy cinematography style, and we're not going to get that. It is what it is. I can accept these films for what they look like, but yes, they do look good. They're some of the most well shot Halloween films in the franchise, but it's just not what I would have wanted it to look like, if that makes any sense. Another thing I don't like about the movie, I don't like how they show a bit too much of Michael. You don't see a whole lot, but you do. You still see his side profile. You see the back of his head a lot. I also don't like the Sartain twist a whole lot. And it's not something I super hate. I'm kind of mixed on it, but I'm fine with this. I'm fine with the Sartain twist. It's when he puts on Michael's mask, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why'd you have to do that? But I get it. Sartain's obsessed with him. He wants to know what it's like to kill and this and that. He's trying to get into the mind of a serial killer. But I don't know. I remember being in the theater and being like, what the hell am I looking at? Like, what am I watching here? After I've watched it a few times, I don't mind it as much. But yeah, the Sartain twist could have just not happened. They could have kept him around over the next few films, honestly. And used him as a new Loomis in a way, but then I don't know how they would have gotten Michael to Laurie's house. unless Michael kept chasing Allison from the point Oscar died, eventually, and chased her all the way through town, through the woods, leading him to Laurie's house. That could have worked too. Overall, guys, this movie is a really good slasher film. To me, it's the second best in the franchise in terms of just pure entertainment. I do love the old school movies. They have charm to them. They are the original sequels. But if I'm being honest, when I watch the Halloween movies, this is number 2 to me. And it's just, I really enjoy it. I just really like it. It's got a good vibe. And so yeah, guys, I don't know what else to say about this movie other than it reinvigorated the franchise. It brought a lot of fans back into the fold. It brought a lot of new people to the franchise. It made horror fans like me appreciate Halloween more. And that's about it. Tomorrow night, I'm going to watch Halloween Kills and do another discussion / review for that, where I'm going to sit here and bullshit with you about the movies. This is all to gear up, get pumped up, get amped up for Halloween Ends come Friday. I'm super excited. It could suck. It could not suck. I'm hearing a lot of reviews that people aren't happy with Ends, but I'll have to watch it and see for myself. So, you know, it can go either way. So, all right, guys. Well, I'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good one. Peace out, peasants.